94XO, it's Moni XO. I'm getting up close and personal with Blind City Podcast. Stay tuned. You're watching 94XO. Langford Cunningham, founder of Blind City Podcast, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So, where did the idea come from you wanting to create a podcast?
Well, it came from me overcoming suicide. Once I lost my sight from neglecting my health, being caught up in everyday life like we do. We work jobs. Some people in relationships, some people looking for relationships, people taking care of their families. And you get so caught up with life, you kind of forget about your health. And especially with men, as boys, we were never taught to check on our health. We was taught to chase wealth. And I did that very well, getting caught up in the streets. When I say caught up in the streets, I mean with the partying and the strip clubs and going to work at juvenile detention, trying to tell kids to be structured in life. And when I leave work, I'm out in the clubs, but not paying attention to my health and not having a personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
So I woke up one morning and my eyes were bloodshot red, and I was a alcoholic at that time, drinking about 4 or 5 beers a day, 10 on the weekend. I thought it was the alcohol. 2 days later, my eyes were still bloodshot red. So I went to an ophthalmologist, and he looked at my eyes. He asked me, "Do you have glaucoma in your family?" And I said, "Yes, sir. My father went blind." And he said, "Well, your eye pressure is up to 45. Now, if people that don't know what eye pressure is like a normal eye pressure is 15, 12 to 15. My pressure was 45 in both eyes. Wow. So, he pushed the seat back. Anytime a doctor pushed the seat back, it's bad news. So he said, "We got to rush you into surgery." So that one surgery turned into 31 surgeries in both eyes. And they couldn't save my sight. And the things that I live for, the things that I worship, the materialism, once I got back home, I couldn't see my home no more. I couldn't see the cars no more that I bought. I went in the house, couldn't see the TVs, couldn't see the paintings, everything I did to decorate the home, the man cave, couldn't see nothing. So I went quickly into denial. And I said, I gotta kill myself. I can't live like this. I can't live like this. I can't see nobody. And then I had a 3-year-old daughter. I'm like, I can't see her. What I gonna do? Who's gonna talk to a blind man? How's a blind man gonna survive? So I tried hanging myself to the shower. Wasn't successful. Put the Glock in my mouth, made sure it was loaded, pulled the trigger. Wasn't successful. So I called a drug dealer I know. I said, "Man, bring me a pill that would take me right out of here." He said, "I'll be on my way, bro. You sure this is what you want to do?" I said, "Man, I'm positive, bro. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to tap out." He said, "I'll be there."
So, how did that make you feel, knowing that somebody you knew would just easily say, "Okay, I got you," when it comes to?
That's a good question. See, I really knew of him. I didn't like hang out with him. We didn't have no association. I just knew he was the drug dealer. He took all the strippers' pills when they danced in the club. So I knew he was the ecstasy man. He was the X-pill man, And I knew he had, heroin pills, all that. Because I used to see him in the strip club. He'd go give all the strippers the drugs before they get on stage. So in that life, that's normal. And he didn't make it. State troopers pulled him over. I called. I waited about an hour, and I was frustrated. So I had a friend over at the house come over and dial the number, and state trooper answered the phone. I said, "Who is this?" He said, "Who is this?" He said, "You waiting on somebody?" I said, "Huh?" He said, "We got him in handcuffs. We just arrested him on drug trafficking. We found all drugs in the car." I dropped the phone. And at that moment, I just fell down, and I heard a voice, and the voice said to me, you got 2 ways you can handle this. You can walk towards me, and I can show you what your next journey in life is. Or you can walk the other way, and I can't promise what's going to happen to you because I'm going to take my hands off you." And at that moment right there, I just had a different attitude and gave my life to God, and after me processing everything, probably within that month, Blind City, the podcast, was created. And I had to lose my sight to find my vision.
Yeah.
And Blind City Podcast is here to help other people make sure they don't lose their sight or their vision. Not vision for us 2020, but their vision and purpose in life.
So having all these different guests on the show, all these different issues you talk about when it comes to helping others, what challenges have you been faced, with yourself when it comes to your own mental health? Maybe talking about things that may trigger you to think about things from your past.
Good question. Well, like I say, from my past, I never really dealt with a crisis that I dealt with once I lost my sight. Pretty much hard things I dealt with was trying to get kids to turn their life around coming in juvenile detention. I was working with 13, 12-year-old killers. A 12-year-old just killed somebody, And then when I asked him about it, he cold-hearted. He like, why you kill him? He go, I had to take him out. A 12-year-old, I had to take him out. Not crying, nothing, no empathy. I mean, I'm looking at dude, he looking like the Purge. And that was my fight, trying to change these youngsters, give back to the community, try to run my life skill lessons back then. But kind of with my mindset, what you're going back to is just, I was just caught, maybe I was dealing with a little trauma back then, just dealing with all the murders that were going on in our community by kids by 12, 15 years old. And I was blown away by that because it seems like they're getting younger with killing people. So I think that's what started my excessive drinking off work, which led to the partying. That was my getaway at that time.
Oh, I thought you were still talking.
No,
way you paused.
No, I was waiting for you. That was a good question,
Now, what are some different topics that you talk about on Blind City, or some things that you're looking forward to speaking about?
I mean, I got very diverse topics. I interview a lot of different people, and that's why I like what Blind City offers. I mean, we can interview politicians. We interview gang members. We interview people who's been in sex trafficking. I mean, we just cover so many issues that we're dealing with in our community that I'm bringing to awareness. And people that's not from our community is creating awareness.
Yeah.
And the people from my community, I'm just trying to inspire them,
Yeah. And what would you say would be some of the obstacles you think that other people may face when they, come across your podcast? Because it's very unique, it's different. It could be triggering depending on what guests you may have on. But do you think,
right,
as a fan base, do you think there's obstacles that they may face and you may face in the future?
I mean, really, the feedback I've been getting, I got so much a diverse base, but it's a lot of people that listen to my podcast that really never listen to podcasts. They really taking the time out between the ages 25 and 34. They're listening. And it's people that really been through something in life. They overcame obstacles, or they dealing with something right now where they're not sure if they can get by the next day. Are they searching? They trying to find God. They trying to overcome whatever pain that they're dealing with. But it's pretty much people that are the underdogs of society that I really relate to, and people that really want to prove something out here, like make something of themselves, and they never had that opportunity. So Blind City is kind of the motivation for those type people.
Now, you as an individual, where do you want to be?
What do you mean where I want to be?
Like with Blind City, I know what you want to do with Blind City as a platform.
Right.
You as an individual,
yes,
where do you want to be?
It's where God placed me, It's where God placed me, for real. And I say that unapologetic because what I overcame, suicide and being blind, when you go home, tie a blindfold around your eyes and just walk around the house for 30 minutes. You won't make it 30 minutes. You're going to take the blindfold off in 5 minutes. So for me to learn and how to deal with it and go on with my life and still get out here and inspire other people, I mean, that's powerful.
Yeah.
People have never seen that. And I think you and I was talking before we started rolling the cameras is, you know, what I'm trying to stand for is when people look at people with disabilities in our community, they look at it as a weakness. You know, they feel sorry, like, and understand that's a human response. You know, you hate to see anybody deal with anything, you know, that kind of hampers their life. But that's life, though. It's nothing promised.
Yeah.
It's nothing promised. I mean, Jeff Blake. I mean, here's a guy driving to break up a fight or whatever was going on. Police pull him over. They shoot him. Now the man can't walk. But he was walking the day before. Now he paralyzed. I mean, this happens every day in America. People get in car accidents. Bam. They paralyzed. Their whole life changed at a dime. That's why I say you got a minute to pray and a second to die out here.
That was deep. That was deep. Now, how does that mic make you feel? So when I ask that, I mean, what emotions do you have when you're talking on the mic using this platform?
I'm sure you can answer that, right?
I'm asking you.
for her listening audience, I let her tell you about that behind
I want
scenes.
you to describe it.
No, I mean it depends what attitude. I'm a very emotional person. I wear my heart on my sleeve. You know, Lil Durk made a song called that. You know, I wear my heart on my sleeve. You know, that's real talk. I'm very emotional. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about life. I'm passionate about people. And I don't like people being treated differently. I don't like that one set of people have everything in their community.
Yeah.
And then you roll in some communities, they don't have the same resources as the people that have the better communities, that have the financial status. And the people that don't have the financial status, their community don't have those same type of resources. So I get really upset with that. That triggers me. So I'm trying to hopefully try to create an even playing field, but every time we do it, they keep moving the goalposts. So those are the things I speak out for, you know. Shout out to Cori Bush, you know. Salute to her. We had her on the show, and we give a platform to people to help them get elected if I feel we can get behind them and they support the people in the community to make these changes to try to create an even playing field.
Yeah. Now, with all the guests that you had so far, have you had any that were, in a sense, challenging to you when it comes to talking about certain issues, or have you been able to adapt and, you know?
Well, we try to get people. They don't want to mess with me on the mic. They don't mess with me on the mic. I'm like a pit bull off a leash for talk radio podcasting. They don't want to go there. We didn't call the Ku Klux Klan. We didn't send invitations out to hate groups. Hey, come talk. Let's talk about it. I even sent it to the politicians. Yeah. But I welcome anybody. I love a great debate, and and I'm humble. If you right, I sit back and I listen. I'll be like, okay, you right. Yeah.
Now, how's your growth been as an individual, you know, creating this podcast since, you know, your situation has happened? How do you feel about your growth?
Saved my life. Blind City saved my life. And that's the gift God gave me. That's the platform he gave to me to reach people, to put them on the platform so they can tell their story.
Yeah.
And it's keeping me alive because I wasn't able to go back to juvenile detention. You know, once I lost my sight, St. Louis County told me bye-bye. After 20 years, bye-bye. I was like, wow. It's like once you're not the same as everybody else, they kick you out the group. Sound familiar, don't it, to some people out there?
Sound like high school bullies, right?
Yeah, you're right. Anytime you different, yeah. So I was like, okay. And then when I went to the, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do this for you because me and you has had a roller coaster ride with this journey, but we're gonna end it on a bright note. I'm gonna do this for you. When I went blind, the first thing I said to myself, I got to talk to some blind people. You know, because everybody I knew, they had sight. So they really couldn't tell me nothing. They was like, man, we don't know what to tell you, bro. So I said, let me find an organization where I can go sit in with a blind people, like a group, a therapy class, and let me find out how their life is and see how can I adjust. Even though mine's a little different. I just lost my sight a year ago. But they've been living in the dark forever. And they making it. And I salute them. So I wanted to go and find out what was really going on and how can I improve my life with what I'm dealing with and take lessons from them. So I'm going there thinking they finna teach me, right? So I go sit in the class. They introduce me and I'm listening to people. And then the young lady said, Mr. Cunningham. And I'm quiet. I'm like, I wasn't planning on talking. I just wanted to listen and see how can I take from different people's opinions and add it to my life. She said, can I ask you a question? I said, yes. How does LeBron James look? I said, what? Wow. She said, how does LeBron James? So I go, oh, he look like this. He built like an athlete, And then another lady say, Mr. Cunningham, how do clouds look in the sky? Then another one, dude, Mr. Cunningham, how Halle Berry look, man? And I'm sitting there, man, after 30 minutes, I'm sitting here talking to them, and they asking me all questions about how people look, how does trees look, how do certain flowers and colors look. And I sat there, and when they left out, I said, God, you are amazing. What am I mad about? Why am I bitter? Yeah, I'm blind, but I had 51 years of sight where they never had none. And that changed my whole perspective in life, for Blind City, people I meet. Every day I wake up, I just have a whole new perspective on everything and don't take nothing for granted. Yeah. Just appreciate it.
And what advice would you give to people dealing with things pertaining mental health, whether it's a black male, a white woman, a kid?
Get help. Don't be afraid to get help. We worry about what everybody else think. It ain't about what everybody else think. It's worry about how you think of yourself. Because you create the narrative. They don't. Now, if you let them, they will. But at the end of the day, you create the narrative. But if you need help, go get help. Go get help. Yeah. Don't be scared to go get help. Don't be like me. I'm waking up, my eyes bloodshot red. I'm thinking it's the alcohol. And it was a damn glaucoma strangling my optic nerve. Because I was ignorant to go get my eyes checked and just to get checked up once a year anyway. So get your checkups once a year. Get your mental health, get your eyes, get your anything with your body. Ladies, get your what they call it. Help me with the word. Monogram.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
No, see, look, hey, she got the panic button on me, y'all. She got the mute button on me. I'm letting you know.
Oh,
if I start talking, you won't hear nothing. She got the mute button in her hand. But what is it called for women?
The mammogram, yeah.
Okay, yes. Because I know 2 women who lost both their breasts, and they were real good friends of mine. And that chemo, oh man, they went through it. They went through it, but they survived it. They lost their hair, they lost their breasts, but guess what? They still moving forward. And those the type of stories that inspire me now. Yeah. That's the things I pay attention with people now, what they've been through and how they deal with the adversity.
Mm-hmm. Now, what can we look forward to next for Blind City Podcast? I know you got a lot of things in your mind what you're trying to do.
There you go.
What are you working on?
Well, let me say this. You ain't got to touch the mute button. Let me shout out to my driver, my security, Mr. Sims, Frank Lucas. I appreciate him. When I need him, he's there, like UPS. I can depend on him through rain, sleet, or snow. Let me shout out Tim, who produces Blind City. Let me shout out Drew and Andrea. That's my team. They keep Blind City going. That's the machine. And I'm very blessed to have them in my life. And I'm blessed, man. It seems like when you lose something, God replaces it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm very humbled to have them in my life and to keep me going. So now I can help other people. And that's what I'm trying to do. Share it with interns, share it with anybody I can to help make a change in our communities. And let me also say rest in peace to Tina over at Clayton Studios. She was one of the first ladies I went to when I lost my sight. And if you see my first 3 episodes of Blind City, that's where we were recording, and she produced those. And she passed this past week, and I send my condolences to her family. And she was a very good woman, loyal to her career, and I thank her for that.
Well, I'm excited for what you got.
Oh, what I got coming up?
Oh, wait,
I didn't even answer
wait.
that. See, I got caught up in my emotions. I'm sorry.
Oh,
See?
my goodness,
Yeah,
Lord.
look, she always said, Lord, look at her. Oh, what I got? Oh, the next season. Well, we're ending our 2nd season, and it was a great ride. Great ride. Thank you for all the guests that appeared on the show. But we're getting bigger and better. We're getting bigger and better with the guests. We're getting bolder with the guests. We're going to get some of them reality stars. Might get some comedians. We're going to get some still deal with the regular everyday people. We're going to get some women who've been through breast cancer. We're going to get people overcoming addiction. We're just going to get people to tell their story on how they made it in life. Even if I get a reality star or a comedian, they're not going to be on there telling jokes. That's not what Blind City about. They're going to talk about what they went through, their adversity, and then how they feel what needs to be changed in the community.
They're going to throw a joke in there, though.
Well, you know that. Well, you know it. You know it. They be slick with it. Right. Right.
Well, I'm excited for what you got in the future.
Are you sure?
I
You
am.
sure?
I am.
You sure?
Yes, I am.
You say Cunningham crazy.
We're about to change this energy up, though. You're going to
Okay.
answer these questions in this jar. So I'm going to pull out 3 questions, read them to you, and you're going to answer them.
All right.
So the first one is, if you had to choose one animal to help you win a fight, which animal would you choose?
Oh, man, a silverback.
Why?
Wow.
Yes.
Silverback.
I need you to elaborate.
Man, a silverback is a beast. It's going to fight to the end. Yeah, silverback. Yeah.
And the next question is, what's your favorite holiday?
Payday.
What's your favorite holiday?
What, that's not a holiday? I thought payday was a holiday for us.
What's your next favorite holiday?
Man, you know what? I like the holiday season. You can take
Which holiday?
Thanksgiving and Christmas, just that all together. Just Thanksgiving and Christmas. I just like it just seems like that's when America gets peaceful. Not them 2 months out the year. They get the singing commercials, the Christmas carols, Yeah, it's cool. And then you around family. And then, I like to get my grub on, So, you're going to have a big feast and talk with people, be around your kids, your family. Just what it's supposed to mean. Just being around family through those holidays.
I think this year, too, will be a little different.
You got that right. Some people ain't going to eat.
a little closer.
Yeah, some people ain't going to eat. But we trying to get out there and get some turkeys to some people, too. We working on that to help some people out for this holiday season who may be less unfortunate. Try to help them so they can have a great dinner as well.
Okay. And your last question is, what is the weirdest thing you have seen in someone else's house?
You really want to know that?
Yeah.
See your cameraman laughing because he know you messing with him. Now you see, I'm trying to stick to your bullet points. The weirdest thing. Oh man.
He trying to be PG.
I ain't seen the live stuff. Weirdest thing is probably what's them little dogs called? I don't want to say it on your show. You might have to bleep it.
A little dog.
What's them little dogs?
Like a dog?
Them women have? What?
Chihuahuas?
No, they worse than that. What are them Shih Tzus? Shih Tzus. What they called? Shih Tzu?
That's the weirdest thing you see in the house? A Shih Tzu?
Yeah.
A dog?
Yeah. They shit all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
You don't have to bleep that. But y'all, they do. That's why they call it a Shih Tzu. It shits all over the house. I'm like, damn, all them turds on the floor. I didn't know what it was. She was like, we can't step. I said, why you got a dog that always duking on the
Because
rug?
not potty trained.
But why they call it a Shih Tzu?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Can you let everybody know where they can listen to Blind City Podcast and find out more information about you?
Oh, yeah, thank you. You definitely can go to YouTube, Blind City the Podcast, and you can go to blindcitypodcast.com. You can Google Blind City Podcast. You can go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and check us out and become part of our community. And let's try to make a difference out here. And I'm going to keep it live. I'm going to keep it real on my show. So that's what we're going to do.
I'm Moni XO, and we are out. Be easy. It's your girl Moni XO, and you just finished a 94XO interview. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to our YouTube channel, and follow us on social media platforms. Be easy.